Hello ladies and gents, welcome back. In this video I'm gonna give you my thoughts about the Cincinnati draw. One of the few Masters that are remaining this year. The Cincinnati Masters is perhaps, if you look at the court speed, the fastest tournament, the fastest surface you can find out there, together with Wimbledon. And these super fast surfaces they have suits player who is very offensive. It rewards them. Roger Federer have won here 7 times. Is actually his best Grand Slam Masters tournament if you count how many victories he has here. 7 victories, and he's still in the lead in that department. But Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Dominic Thiem are not playing. They are not participating. They are preparing for US Open by resting and just rehab, and they are doing their own thing except playing at the Cincinnati Masters. So let me remind you a little bit about the draw. We have 3 former champions here. We have Medvedev, who won the last time they played here. We have Marin Cilic and Grigor Dimitrov. Those are the only guys that has won this tournament. And this is perhaps the last preparation before the US Open starts. And these fast surfaces suits players with big serves. They get rewarded. And if you have a lot of speed under your feet, you will get rewarded. This is a surface that you have low margins, but you have to take control of the baseline. You have to take control of the mid-court. You have to be patient. You have to go in for it and take risks. And if you're hesitating, you will give your opponent time. And if you give them time on these super fast surfaces, you will probably lose the point. So many players are coming here. They have question marks in their head. How are they going to prepare before the US Open? All right, like I did my last preview at Toronto, we have a final day between Opelka and Medvedev, they are playing later. So I thought I'm gonna do this preview before, because maybe I won't find time later. So I'm gonna start with my a couple of matches that are interesting in the first round. We have RBA against Dimitrov. They are pretty even Steven in their head-to-head. I think Dimitrov actually has the upper hand. We have Fonini against Bashavili. A battle that's gonna be a joy to watch. I'm gonna actually find time to watch that match. I like watching those 2 players. And then we have Fuskovic against Aliassime, and then TFO against Humbert, and Karatsev against Cilic. Those are the first round matches that I can come up that are the best matches so far. But I'm not gonna watch all of them, of course. I'm just trying to tune in the Fonini and Bashavili game, and I will hope that Fonini wakes up on the right side. All right, into my dark horses. Of course, I have Riley Opelka, who plays the Toronto final later tonight, and then I have Matteo Berrettini. Of course, he's trying to find his form after that Wimbledon loss in the final against Novak. I haven't seen him play on the court, and now he's here. He's probably is gonna take on a bunch of players before he's gonna reach the semi-final, and who will the quarter, and he will meet one of those guys that I think will reach the semi-finals and maybe the final. I'm gonna go into that later, of course. But Berrettini, who has played superbly at this American swing before, he has reached the semi-final at US Open. He's here. He has matured. He has started to play more consistent during the last month. And he has a big game in him. And I think that his huge forehand and his big serve will reward him on these hyper-fast surfaces. And he can actually reach very deep. But I think his journey ends in the quarterfinal. And I have PCB also as a dark horse. I think that his run will also end in the quarterfinal. But he has played rock solid also lately. He won the bronze medal at the Olympics. I think he played. I'm not sure if he played at Toronto. I'm trying to remember, but he has the game, and he likes to play on hard court, exactly like his countryman Roberto Bautista Agut, who lost against Opelka, I think, in the quarterfinals at Toronto. RBA is always good at playing on hard courts, but he's not a title contender. He always reaches deep, but always end up losing in a quarter or a semifinal. All right. And then I have a guy who is it? Let me think. Fuskovic, the hard-hitting Hungarian. I think that he will take out Aliassime in the first round. And he has a great power from both wings, so I think that he can cause damage. He can really upset. It's not an upset to defeat Aliassime, but Aliassime will be the favorite in this match, but he's not consistent enough. All of these Canadians that I've seen on tour lately, last couple of years, are so inconsistent. Like players like Raonic, Pospisil, Shapovalov, Aliassime. And I have also Shapovalov as one of those guys that can reach maybe the quarters if he can get past players like Isner or Sinner. He will play a quarterfinal, but I don't think that. But I have him as a dark horse. He will surely play better than he played in Toronto and before the Olympics. After Wimbledon, has not played great. All right, on my number 4 spot, who do I have there? I have Alexander Rublev. He has Karatsev in the first round, I think, and then he will take on Monfils in the third round. And in the quarterfinals, I think that he will actually defeat either Shapovalov, Isner, or Yannick Sinner. One of those guys is going to be his quarterfinal opponent, and I think that he's going to win that battle. Rublev, who has a great serve and great forehand, great movement, great shot selection, I believe that he can reach the semifinals at least. And then we'll see what's happening from there. But Rublev definitely has the game. He has the power. He has the physique. But he has not impressed me lately. He needs to step up. He needs to get out of his comfort zone because he has played too safe lately. That's why I think he has lost many of those tight battles. And he gives too much. He does a lot of unforced errors lately. He has done a lot of unforced errors lately. And I'm a little bit disappointed in Rublev, to be honest. But I think that he can go to the semifinal. That's my prediction. And on my number 3rd spot, who do I have there? I have Stefanos Tsitsipas, who didn't impress me so much yesterday after losing against Opelka. But Opelka probably played one of his best matches in his life. But the young Greek needs to figure out how he's gonna stop leaking unforced errors from his backhand side, because his opponents always aiming for that weak spot, and I think that his opponents will try to do that. In the first round he plays against Sebastian Korda, I think, and in the second round he will probably take on Sonego, and then in a quarterfinal he has to face Berrettini, who is up to love in head-to-head. I think that he can take out Berrettini, but I'm not 100% sure there. That's not a long shot, but Stefanos is the better player. He has a great all-round game. He's a light version of Federer. He has a mind that is out of... don't get me wrong, he has lost the French Open final after being 2 sets up, but he is a winner. He likes to win. He's not satisfied of losing. Look how angry he can get when he's not... when he doesn't play great. So I think that the Greek still has a lot of things to work on. His main weaknesses are, of course, his breakpoint conversions, his returns, and his backhand. He has a huge forehand. He has a great serve, and he is a great spot server. But he's not in super 100% shape. Maybe this tournament will give him that extra boost into the US Open. I will not be surprised if he loses against Berrettini, but I think that he can reach the semifinal. So he's on my 3rd spot. And on my 2nd spot in this tournament, who do I have there? I have the Olympic winner, Alexander Zverev, who is up against the big server, Harris, in the first round. And then he has to take on the winner between Fonini and Bashiavili, a tough task, but due to his great serve and great power from the both wings, his baseline game, I think that he will take out those guys. And in the quarterfinal, he will face probably Hugo Humbert or Railo Pelka. If we can keep this consistency level throughout this tournament also. But Zverev, a fresh Olympic gold medalist, a guy that won maybe his second biggest tournament in his career after the Masters and the ATP finals. I think that Zverev is here. He's trying to create and he's aiming for the victory in this tournament and the US Open. He's a finalist there. He lost against Thiem at the US Open final. He is here to win. But can he keep the level that he had against Novak Djokovic in the semifinal at Olympics? He will be deathly lethal in this tournament, and not many guys in this field can stand that power when Sasha is in the zone. But because look at his serve, it's barely unreturnable if his first serve lands in. His second serve is also with great pace and power, but he needs to serve more solid on his second serve, and his backhand is one of the best in tour. His forehand, if he can take a step into the court and be a little bit risky, he will be rewarded, of course. But I think that since he's a good mover on court, I think that Sasha is one of the guys that you have to be careful when you play against, because it seems that he doesn't move correctly. He's not that hyper fast. I have seen many matches where people trying to mix up the game with drop shots and trying to get Sasha out of rhythm, but mostly they fail because Sasha, he's a good tennis player, and he plays very tactical, successful, and he has a great tennis mind. But that will only give him the runner-up place in this tournament, but because I think that still Medvedev is in the zone. He is floating on the clouds up in heaven. He's here. Even if he loses the final against Railo Pelka, I hold him as a final, the favorite here in Cincinnati. He's gonna take on McDonald or Nakashima in the first round. I think the first top 8 seeds has a bye in the first round, so technically they play their first match in the second round. And Medvedev will take on McDonald or Nakashima in the second round, and maybe Bublik again or RBA in the third round. And in the quarters, I think that he will face PCB, Pablo Carreno Busta. And none of these opponents really scares him. Yes, he dropped a set against Bublik in Toronto, but the other guys, I think that he will get through them pretty comfortable. Medvedev is in the zone. He plays very risky tennis sometimes. He gets rewarded. He's not afraid. He actually does a great job from the mid-court, and he has incredible speed. And his game is very fluid. He's a ball machine. He can stand there from the baseline and just punish the ball, smash the ball, both forehand, both from his backhand side, and without an effort. So this flat-hitting Russian guy has that confidence. He has the mental toughness to defeat all of his opponents here. He has a great first serve. He has a great second serve. He is good at mixing up the game. He really makes his opponents uncomfortable on court. They are getting doubts in their head all the time because it's so hard to hit through him. It's so hard to create winners against Medvedev. And you really have the chance on these fast surfaces. But don't forget that Medvedev is also a great mover. He reads the game like an open book. And he has figured out how to return also. He moves like an extra meter behind the baseline to fish up those returns. And I remember a match against RB. I think maybe that was in Shanghai or it was in Cincinnati, where RB served tremendously good, but every first serve that he hit in, almost the ball came back directly against RBA because Medvedev was there. So Medvedev What can go wrong for Medvedev? I don't know, really. If he gets a mental block, he can do a lot of unforced errors from his backhand when he takes a little bit vacation. He can take and disappear for a while. But this American swing, this hard course, this fast hard course really suits Medvedev's game, and he gets much more time because he doesn't use so much spin on his shots, and he can meet up the ball directly and penetrate after his own taste. And he's a great player that he loves to take time from his opponent from the baseline. And I think that together with that and moving his opponent around the court, he and Novak Djokovic are probably the best guys on tour to do that, together with Nadal also, and a peak Federer. So Medvedev is on the number 2 spot for a reason, and that's a game that he has produced at Toronto. I think they will take that game into the next Masters event, and I think he will be the champion at Cincinnati again. And that's my prediction, guys. So on my 4th spot, I have Rublev. On my 3rd spot, I have Tsitsipas. On my runner-up spot, the 2nd spot, I have Alexander Zverev. And on my number 1 spot, it's Daniil Medvedev. And the dark horses was Opelka, Berrettini, Shapovalov, PCB, maybe Fuskovic. All right, folks. Thank you for watching this video. Take care and bye-bye.